house. We'll get to them later. Hey, if it's your first time to Unscripted or at a Parkview Students thing, text first time to 65649. We're going to send you some awesome stuff. All season long, we've been talking about our hashtag world's greatest drink, root beer floats. You guys chose it. So all semester long, we've been having Team Root Beer versus Team Ice Cream. So tonight, we're going to have Team Root Beer and Team Ice Cream hit their fears. And I am taking Lizzie's mic. We're trading mics.
We're going to trade them.
I'm not sure why we're doing this, but we're doing it. It was so smooth. So,
can't have my mic.
Great. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to ask our student pastors to face their fears. Come on down, you guys. I want to introduce you, if you haven't had the luxury, the glorious, wonderful opportunity of meeting Mr. Matt Willard. Mr. Matt Willard is our student pastor at the New Lenox campus.
Hello.
I was like, wait, they can't hear you. Just turn your mic over a little bit.
Yeah, joke's on you guys. I have no fears.
And no fears. I don't believe that. What is your greatest fear? I heard it's butterflies.
No, that's not my greatest fear.
That's not your greatest fear?
My greatest fear is cookie dough ice cream. Oh, no. Prank me with cookie dough ice cream.
Is that why you're Team Root Beer? Because ice cream, you have an unruly fear of ice cream. Lizzie Calabaris, our student pastor at Homer Glen. Let's hear a little shout out for Lizzie. Lizzie, thanks for joining us tonight. Lizzie has been on vacation, if you've missed it, in the grand land of Hawaii. Super wonderful. So, Lizzie, tell us your greatest fear. I heard it's loneliness and depression.
That's mine.
I'm so confused. Are you really afraid of butterflies? Really? Would you like to expound on that?
Love to. So when I was about 2 years old, my mom took me to the Field Museum downtown Chicago, and there was a butterfly.
What a wonderful educational opportunity it does.
And I had my beautiful pearls out on display, and I managed to get a very rare butterfly lodged in my pearls, and the people on the exhibit thought that I was smuggling it. They had to put on gloves because the oil is in your fingers.
Correct.
Aside and like fish it out of my hair, and now my choices were to shave my head or save my butterfly, so I saved it.
Oh, the shave the head thing. I feel like that's a future episode for sure. Hey, let's play Fear Factor. Matt, give that wheel a spin. Let's find out what you're going to do.
Okay, I can't wait.
I can't wait either. Matt, your deep, dark fear of dentists means that you're going to spend a little time with the dentist. Our audience is going to decide who reacts the least, who is the most courageous youth pastor we have as they each face their own fears. So, Matt, your dentist is going to come forward right now, and we're going to actually give you a dental exam right here on the air for the next 30 seconds, and you guys are going to judge Matt's terrifying fear. Dr. Socket? Oh, glorious. Dr. Socket, do your
I actually
thing.
have to go to the dentist tomorrow. So
Oh, perfect. Maybe this will count. No copay. No copay. All right. Okay. Give him an exam. Let's go. If you don't make him gag, you're not doing it right. So I don't want to do that. And the time is up. All right. No cavities. So great. Think about Matt's response to that. Lizzie, spin that wheel.
I feel like that was so much better than tomorrow's.
I think you're probably right. No drills, no anything. Lizzie, your fear of clowns. Come forward, clown. Matt, you hop up. Lizzie, you hop down. Because, Lizzie, you're about to have your makeup done by this clown with no eyeballs. So, yes. So, Lizzie, we're going to have you step forward just a little bit. And you're going to wear this makeup for the duration of the show. So let's hope it goes well.
I hope it
even though
goes
she
so
can't see a
well.
thing that she's doing.
Great.
You have 20 seconds on the clock, scary clown girl, to give Lizzie the makeup overhaul of her entire life. Go. Make it happen, Captain. Wow, that's a rough. I feel like that was an exfoliation we're looking at right there. Oh, and a zhuzh. Don't you feel... Oh, it's oh, my gosh. I can't even look at that right now. Lizzie. Terrifying. Oh, yes. And time is up. Well done. Thank you, clown person. We're going to leave your set right here in case you have to come back. Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. who faced their fears the best. You're going to cheer if you think it was Matt. You're going to cheer if you think it was Lizzie. And whichever one takes the round gets 100 points for their team. Was it Matt Willard who faced his fear the best? Was it Ms. Lizzie Calamberas who faced her fear the best? Oh, it was pretty close, but I'm going to give that to Team Root Beer. Yeah. Matt Willard, well done. I am not kidding you, Lizzie. It's so sad to be a loser. Okay, Matt, let's spin again. Round number 2. Let's go. What do we got here, Matt? You are going to, I hope so, because I did see it on your tooth. It's a little kind of gross, but we're not going to go there right now. And you are going to face your fear of the dentist again. I don't like that one, so it's going to be the snake. Oh. So, Matt, you're going to face your fear of snakes. And here's what we're going to have you do. You're going to put these headphones in. Okay. We're going to have you watch this video of a man who is about to birth some snakes. Okay? So, not a human birthing it. Like... helping the eggs hatch. Okay, great. I think you guys are going to... Well, not yet. We got to count it down. Right. 3, 2, 1, go. Ready? We're going to watch that video. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, you guys. So this one's terrifying.
Okay, I'll give a play-by-play.
They can see it. They can see it. They can see it on the... They can see everything you're seeing.
Okay. Room, so we're kind of closed from there. This is a really important clutch of eggs. So, I don't know how long you guys have been following.
Oh, gosh. He got nothing. I was scared all the way from over here. Well done, Willard.
I told you I have no fears.
You have no fears. You are like a steel magnolia.
Which is, I hear is a great movie. I've never seen it before.
It's got my Queen Dolly Parton in it.
Lizzie, roll that wheel. Let's go.
I'm going to roll it. I'm not even
the wheel
spin
of
it.
misfortune. You're not even spinning. We're just going to roll it. We're going to hope that you get the clown again because you definitely need some help with the makeup. But instead, you're going to get your fear of public speaking.
Gosh, love that.
So, Lizzie, we have prepared a speech for you.
Great.
And you're going to deliver this speech to this camera right here.
Yes.
Ready, set, and go.
Hello. My name is Lizzie Calamberas, and today I will be giving you a speech on the fear of public speaking. Glossophobia, or fear of public speaking, is a very common phobia, and one that is believed to affect up to 75% of the population. Some individuals may feel a slight nervousness at the thought of public speaking, while others experience full-on panic and fear. They may try to avoid public speaking situations, such as this one, at all costs. Or if they must speak in public, they endure shaking hands and a weak, quavering voice. If you want to overcome your fear of public speaking, here are some helpful solutions. 1, carefully review your materials. 2,
Lizzie,
practice your speech in front of others.
Did you do that before you saw this?
Not.
I didn't
3,
think so.
Don't just randomly spin a wheel and be forced into it on a show you do for Parkview students. Thank you so very much for listening to my speech.
Well done.
And don't forget to tip your wait staff.
Oh, so good,
wow.
Lizzie.
Good.
So well done. So we're going to hear again who we feel like faced that fear the best. And you definitely can judge Matt based on my reaction if you would like to. So, who thinks that Matt Willard faced that fear the best? Who thinks that Lizzie is a rock star, courageous woman that ain't scared of nothing?
I agree.
For sure. Team Ice Cream handily takes that. I'm sorry I screwed up your mojo.
It's okay, but I just didn't expect no cheers.
I know.
You know, you gotta...
But it's okay.
You kind of got kind of that haphazard clap that feels really awkward.
Right, like when you have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for lunch. Yeah.
Awesome.
Matt,
We're going to do one more round.
My blood got on your
Mr.
hand.
Yeah, you are literally terrifying right now.
I can't even, I don't know what I look like.
I know you
so.
don't, which I love even more. I feel like that is probably a deeper fear for you than actually what you look like right now. Matt, spin that wheel.
Oh,
One last round.
Okay,
one last round. Take it all home, bro. And you are spiders. Okay, we have to talk about this before we bring these spiders into the studio. The spiders are baby tarantulas. We have a student who has a tarantula, just had babies.
No,
babies are not poisonous. Listen, babies are not poisonous. But they are they're very sensitive to vibrations of sound. So we got to have complete silence as we bring these tarantulas in for Matt to handle. Quiet on the set. Matt, are you ready?
How many of these
I'll
do
be
I have to
over
eat?
here.
You're not going to eat them.
I'm not going to eat them.
We have to give them back.
What do I have to do? I have to touch them?
Okay. He's going to bring them in, and you're going to put your hand in the cage.
Just put my hand in there?
Just going to put your hand in there and let him... Oh! What just happened? You guys, Lizzie, come spin that wheel.
I just absolutely 100% peed in my pants.
So great.
I just peed a little bit.
I love it so much.
I hate
Lizzie, give
this.
it a spin. It's so
I'm keeping
great.
this.
That was the worst thing
Lizzie,
that's ever
please
happened,
get
and
the
it
ladder.
didn't
I
even
want you
happen
to get the ladder
me.
so bad. Get the ladder, and it's the
It's a
ladder.
What do I have to
Lizzie,
do?
you're going to climb that ladder to the second to the top rung and dance a little Macarena for us. Do you know how to do Macarena? I don't know. Make it up. Do the chicken
Are you
dance. I
kidding
don't
me?
care. Oh,
Do I
of
know
course
how
you
to do the Macarena?
I
That was
didn't-
offensive to
I
me.
didn't read your facial cues. My apologies. Okay. Hey, Macarena. Boom, chicka, bum, bunga, chicka. I don't know the song, so I'm just kind of making it up.
You don't
well
know
done,
the
Lizzie.
song?
Just standing right up there doing your thing. All right. I think you got to turn.
I don't think I.
You gotta turn. Oh my goodness. We're getting a full swing seat. Well done, Lizzie. Come on down. So good. Studio audience, let us know who is the most courageous student pastor in the room based on this last round. Do you think Matt Willard faced his fear the best? Or do you think Lizzie faced her fear the best? Oh my goodness. I feel like I have to trump that because I definitely think Matt Willard jumped out of his skin when we threw tarantula dirt on him. Even though now he's trying to act like he's all super like studly by eating a fake spider.
I don't think I jumped out of my skin. We need to show a replay. We need to
me.
run it back.
It
Run
was
it
me.
We don't have that.
I was
capability.
screaming
You
back
did
there.
scream. All right, let's do it one more time. It's okay if you keep your vote the same. Winner of that round, Matt Willard? Lizzie Calambaris. Definitely Matt Willard.
Willard.
Root Beer takes that round. Root Beer, you are running away with it. We had to get a second
Whoa.
moniker in order to keep your score. So Root Beer, you are currently in the lead. Ice Cream, well played tonight.
Thank
Hey,
you.
a couple of things we want you to remember before we get out of here. Your youth pastors, amazing. Give them a little shout out, right? Let's go. Except for Nick Clayson, who's on vacation tonight. So, couple things. We still need to know who's going to do Instagram takeover. Willard, do you want to spin that wheel?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Surprise, you're going to spin the wheel. I knew exactly what you were going to do. Yep,
Look
I got
at
Instagram takeover! Little do they know, as the
everybody.
leader, I could actually just make one of them do it, but I'll do it. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. I don't have
We're
COVID.
all going to. I'm going to the,
going
dentist.
to the dentist.
You're going to the dentist.
I'm going to that. It's
Guys,
literally like
take
medical
care of
day at
yourselves,
Parkview student
okay?
staff. So that's exciting. Hey, if you love games, even if you don't, you can catch us on twitch.tv/ParkviewStuman. We're going to be there tonight. Isaac Sutton's going to be playing games with you guys, so make sure you hop on after small group. If you're not in a small group, you can hop on right after the show, and we'd love for you to do that. Coming up in November, short-term studies at every campus with your student pastors. So we know you love Unscripted. Unscripted will still be on, but you can actually join your youth pastor live in the room as they teach. We're going to be talking about love, hate. You don't even have to sign up. You just have to be there, 7 to 8:30 p.m. New Lenox is doing that on Sunday nights. Orland Park and Homer Glen are doing it on Wednesday nights, and you can connect with your youth pastor about that. We can't wait for you guys to be there. One other thing we can't wait for you to do. Live, laugh, and love people! Give us a little shout, friends.
Amen. Would you guys stand and sing with us? God of Abraham, you're the God of covenant, faithful promises. Time and time again, you have proven do just what you said. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast and let my heart learn when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me. Great is is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. God, from age to age, though the earth may pass away, your word remains the same. Your history can prove there's nothing you can't do. You're faithful and true. Though the storms may come and the winds may blow, I'll remain steadfast. And when my heart burns, when you speak a word, it will come to pass. Great is your faithfulness to me, Lord. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down. Great is your faithfulness to me, Lord. Great is your faithfulness to me. From the rising sun to the setting same, I will praise your name. Great is your faithfulness to me. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me down. I put my faith in Jesus, my anchor to the ground, my hope and firm foundation. He'll never let me
Happy Halloween, everyone. It's spooky season. Hey, I know a lot of you guys love this time of year, and truth be told, Halloween has always been a big deal, but it seems like, at least to me, that the last few years it's become a huge phenomenon. We are seeing more Halloween movies than ever, more costume parties, more creativity in the costumes that people come up with, and all kinds of twists and turns that seem to level up this holiday in particular every year. But you know what never changes about Halloween? Spirit of Halloween stores popping up all over the place. I'm kidding, but only kind of. No, actually, the one constant every Halloween is the emergence of our obsession with fear. We love to be scared. Now, I know some of you are saying, heck no, I don't love to be scared when I say that, but even outside of scary movies and haunted houses and all the other things that come out this time of year, we find a sense of fear somewhat alluring, don't we? I mean, what is the point of a roller coaster or a thrill ride if not fun? That's why they call them thrill rides. There's an element of danger that brings a thrill. Fear feeds on a lack of control. That's why we love haunted houses and scary movies, because we don't know what lurks around every corner. No matter how much we yell at the main character, don't go down there, they always do. I mean, they always do. What is up with that? We don't control the roller coaster, and that's exciting because we don't know what's going to come next. But outside of a setting like that, like a haunted house or a thrill ride, that part of fear really doesn't change. We fear things we can't control, and that lack of control can be terrifying in ways that are actually no fun at all. So what do we do when fear becomes a bigger factor in our lives? See what I did there? Than we like it to be. What happens when fear jumps out of the box, spreads to the deepest, darkest corners of our lives, and can cripple us with things like anxiety, depression, and loads of what we feel like are unconquerable circumstances? Believe it or not, the Bible actually speaks about fear in a lot of ways. And listen, I know it's easy for people like me to sit in a setting like this and tell you don't be afraid of anything and that God is in control. And both of those things are true, I mean, biblically speaking, but easier said than done, am I right? God knows us. He knows our gravitation towards fear, and He gives us a lot of wisdom and guidance on how to handle it. So let's jump into that. First, we need to recognize some things that fear does to us. One of the primary ways that fear hurts us is that it inflates our problems. In the book of Numbers, we can read about this story of God's people after they had escaped captivity in Egypt. At this point, they are nomads, which means they are wandering around the wilderness, no place to call home, trusting God daily for food and supplies that they need to survive. But they also had this incredible promise. See, God had promised them a new land and a new home that He called the Promised Land. And the problem was that there were other people occupying this promised land that God was calling them to take over. He was telling them to step up, take the land that He had promised to them, and then they would become a nation that would actually lead other nations to love and follow God. Sometimes God's people did great with stuff like this, like He'd tell them to conquer a land and they would do it, but most of the time they were scared. They hadn't mastered the idea of what Romans 8:31 teaches, that what then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? Now, in fairness, that book and that verse had not been written yet, but the idea was still there. God had told His people repeatedly to trust in Him and that He would provide for them. So we find them in Numbers chapter 13, about to enter the promised land and drive out some of these other nations. And they send these other guys to scout the place out, and just listen to what the scouts report back to the people in these verses. Numbers 13, verse 26. It says, they came back to Moses and Aaron and the whole Israelite community at Kadesh in the desert of Paran. There they reported to them and to the whole assembly and showed them the fruit of the land. They gave Moses this account. We went into the land in which you sent us, and it does flow with milk and honey, but here is its fruit. But people who live there are powerful, and their cities are fortified and very large. And then Caleb silenced the people before Moses and said, we should go up and take possession of the land, for we can certainly do it. But the men who had gone up with him said, we can't attack those people. They are stronger than we are. And they spread among the Israelites a bad report about the land that they had explored. And they said, the land we explored devours all those living in it. All the people we saw there are great in size. Caleb's response here in these verses I just read is the right response. He's saying we should do it. We should do this thing that God is telling us to do because we can do it. But the people's response is the exact opposite. They are so distracted by the size of their opponents in comparison to themselves that it's causing them this great sense of fear. What they aren't talking about is the size of their opponents in comparison to God. And that's the difference. If we can't solve the problem ourselves, then our fear escalates and we begin to question and doubt and feel anxious or overwhelmed. When really what we need to be doing instead is not drawing fear from the size of our problems, but confidence from the size of our God. See, God created everything. He sustains everything and He controls it all. If He wants us to conquer an army with a pebble, then He'll do it through us because that's what he wants to do. The scouts' fears caused them to misinterpret the reality of the situation that they just saw. They exaggerated the problem, they lost focus on the things that mattered most, and fear causes us to do the exact same things in our lives as well. So that's the first thing. The next thing that fear does to us is fear paralyzes us. Look at the people's response to the verses that we just read in Numbers 14, 1 and 2. It says, that night, members of all the community raised their voices and wept aloud. All the Israelites grumbled against Moses and Aaron, who were their leaders, and the whole assembly said to them, if only we had died in Egypt or in the wilderness. The scouts' fears from those first sets of verses was contagious. It spread throughout the community to the extent that all the people began to point and question everything that was happening in their lives. Moses and Aaron were not perfect guys by any stretch of the imagination, but they had performed miracles in full view of these people that were complaining against them. They were absolutely key in leading them out of deep, painful, and oppressive slavery in the land of Egypt. And now the same people, paralyzed by their own fears, start looking for people to blame for the sense of hopelessness that they're feeling. They complain about the people in charge and even long for death and slavery rather than an uncertain future in freedom, which is what God was promising them. Logically, it doesn't make any sense, but fear throws logic right out the window. We have to be careful not to fall victim to the same trap in our own lives. See, fear thrives in nonsense, and that's what this is. These people had seen God, they had seen Moses meet with God face to face. They were armed with this amazing promise straight from God's lips to their ears, and they still don't believe him. They aren't thinking straight because they're afraid. What these people are saying, what they're thinking, is absolutely and unquestionably broken. Their thoughts, feelings, and impulses are betraying them at every turn, despite all that God has done for them. Does that sound familiar? Let's keep going. One of the most harmful things fear does to us, this is our last point today, is that fear smothers truth. The other day, I was watching one of my favorite reality shows, and in it there's this moment where this girl hears that this other girl is afraid of ketchup. No lie, ketchup. So this girl does what any of us would do. She goes to get a bottle of ketchup, and she holds it right up to the other girl's face. And sure enough, the girl who is afraid of ketchup absolutely freaks out, loses her mind. She's screaming, running, crying. She gets so upset at the other girl for doing that she actually has to be restrained by security guards from punching her by several other people. Now that sounds ridiculous, but if we're honest, we all have problems with phobias. Spiders, snakes, cats, even heights, water, things that otherwise are absolutely normal things. And while some of our fears are based on past traumas like getting bit by a spider or attacked by a cat or whatever, most of them really don't stem from any basis in reality at all. Truthfully, spiders are just bugs. Ketchup is just a condiment, and cats don't randomly attack people for no reason, except that last one might be true. Sometimes it takes someone repeatedly reminding us of the truth for us to overcome our fears. That's exactly what two of the guys in the community of God's people do next in Numbers chapter 14, starting in verse 6. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, I don't know how to pronounce that, you guys do your best, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes and said to the entire Israelite assembly, the land we passed through and explored is exceedingly good. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, a land flowing with milk and honey, and will give it to us. Their protection is gone, but the Lord is with us. Do not be afraid of them. Joshua and Caleb bring some hard truth here. They remind the people that the land they are going into is more than worth the battles that they're about to face. They remind them of the promise that if the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into the land and we will take possession of it. I love that last part in those set of verses where it says that their protection is gone, but the Lord, who is the ultimate protection, is with us. I want to read that passage from Romans 8 that I read at the beginning of tonight's message again. Romans 8:31, what then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against this? Some people refer to this passage as the believer's triumph because it is for those of us who believe it, a creed that holds a lot of power. Power over our anxieties, over our doubts, our insecurities, power over worrying about how good we are or how well we're doing or other people's opinions of us. It's power over worry, power over nonsense, power over fear. The truth is, these people in Numbers 14 were still afraid, even after all the things that we read and all the things they were reminded of. They were still willing to throw Moses and Aaron under the bus and run back to captivity. Their fear dominated them to the point that they actually missed out on some incredible things because of it. They are, for us, a cautionary tale of how not to handle our fears. So next time the thrill of fear wears off and the reality of fear sets in, try to remember who's on your side. Don't lose perspective on what's really in control of your life. It is not your problems or your past or your present set of circumstances. It is God. Don't let the noise drown out the truth. If God is for you, who can be against you? Happy spooky season, everyone. See you next week.